NBA rumors surrounding the New York Knicks have officially gone crazy. The latest report is the Utah Jazz want RJ Barrett in a Donovan Mitchell trade, and the Knicks may be interested in doing it. We're going to break it all down in today's show. But first, I want to ask you this question. Should the Knicks include RJ in a Donovan Mitchell trade? Let me know in the comment section. Type T for trade, or you can go down and type K for keep. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. And in today's show, we're going to talk about those Donovan Mitchell and RJ Barrett rumors. As it seems like the Donovan Mitchell rumors are not dead. They sounded like they were. But the latest report is the Jazz want 4 first-round picks, 3 pick swaps, and a young player in a Donovan Mitchell trade. That comes from Tony Jones, who is a Utah Jazz beat reporter. It was really weird. Last night on Twitter, 3 Utah Jazz beat reporters, and Jacob Eisenberg and Tony Jones, got into a Twitter space, and they talked about everything that was surrounding the New York Knicks, Donovan Mitchell, and the Utah Jazz. And Jacob said the Knicks might be willing, last resort, to include RJ in a potential Donovan Mitchell trade, practically motivated by the fact the New York Knicks really don't want Mitchell going to Brooklyn or Miami. That's the latest rumors. Donovan Mitchell is being pursued by the Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets, potentially a Ben Simmons for Donovan Mitchell trade. So maybe the Knicks are motivated by that. But I'm going to let you know right now, RJ Barrett is untouchable. And Leon Rose knows that. Leon knows that the New York Knicks fans in Madison Square Garden that are there for the New York Knicks will riot if RJ Barrett actually gets traded. Because what we've seen from RJ throughout his young NBA career, he continues to get better every single season. He made that jump following his rookie season to his sophomore season, where he averaged 14 points per game. Went up to 17 and a half, and that was his most efficient year in the NBA, where he averaged 44% from the field. He also shot 40% from 3 to go along with 3 assists, and then this year he reached that benchmark of 20 points per game. Started off the season slow. That's why the averages on the full season are a little bit low at 40% from the field and 34% from 3. But we know that RJ got hot in the second half of the season. And we know that the Donovan Mitchell rumors are only going to come to fruition if the Jazz are able to get a king's ransom for the New York Knicks. Leon Rose has been hesitant to trade these draft picks. Has he declared that Donovan Mitchell is the guy he wants to go out and use all of that fortune for? We also know the Jazz got a king's ransom for Rudy Gobert. So maybe they say, you know what? If we can get 6 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert and another 6 picks for Donovan Mitchell, then maybe we would trade him. And that's why Brian Windhorst said this a couple of days ago. He said, talking to league executives who saw some of this coming, they think it would be abnormal for Donovan Mitchell to not want out of Utah at this point. There are some teams out there who are now revving up the possibility of calling Utah. After we saw Rudy Gobert get traded from the Utah Jazz to the Minnesota Timberwolves, we got somewhat of a benchmark and an understanding of what it would take to pry Donovan Mitchell out of Salt Lake City. Rudy Gobert got traded in one of the most expensive trade returns in NBA history, where they got 4 first-round picks, 3 of them unprotected, as well as a 2026 pick swap, as well as Walker Kessler, who was just drafted in the first round. So that's 6 total first-round picks they essentially got for Rudy Gobert. And I think this is pretty obvious at this point. After they traded Rudy Gobert, that being the Jazz, they don't really want to trade Donovan Mitchell. And they know that the Knicks don't want to trade RJ Barrett. But if they can get RJ Barrett, as well as 3, 4, 5 future first-round picks, maybe they would be willing to listen. Danny Ainge has done this before, and we'll show you what he's done before as a GM, where he got a king's ransom from trading 2 guys that were pillars in the franchise's history. We'll look at that, and we'll also continue to expand on RJ Barrett for the Donovan Mitchell rumors. Then we'll get to the Summer League rosters at the end of the show. But first, I want to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to New York Knicks Now since the NBA offseason has kicked off. Before the NBA draft, just about 2 weeks ago, we were at 6.6 thousand subscribers on this channel. And since then, in 16 videos later, we've gotten up to over 8,000 subscribers. So I want to thank everybody that's joined the family of New York Knicks Now and hit that big red button. We're going to continue to push out videos and multiple videos every single day based on the latest New York Knicks news and rumors. So if that sounds interesting to you, tap in, go down right now and hit that big red button. Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild with the Utah Jazz. He knows that life in the NBA, in your prime, at the peak of your powers, doesn't last forever, and he is on the cusp of becoming an NBA superstar. He's great, but he doesn't want to waste a year in Utah, where they're trying to rebuild this roster through the NBA draft and building for the future of 6, 7, 8 years later. This is what Andy Larson said about Donovan Mitchell. He's a beat reporter for the Jazz about the Mitchell trade rumors. He said this: I've heard from people in the organization that Danny Ainge is open to trading Donovan Mitchell. He's not enamored by what Donovan Mitchell brings, and he's also said this: the two known teams who want Donovan Mitchell the most are the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. One thing about Danny Ainge is this: we know he's been there and done that when it comes to rebuilding a franchise. Let's go back to when he was with the Boston Celtics, and he first hired Brad Stevens to be his head coach. Remember what he did that summer? He went out and traded Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce to the Brooklyn Nets for one of the largest trade compensations of all time. They got five players, 3 first-round picks, a pick swap, and 2 of those picks ended up becoming Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And all the Celtics had to give up was Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry, and DJ White. So we know Danny Ainge is not afraid to go out and gut a roster and think 5, 6, 7 years later, because the Brooklyn Nets in 2022 are still hurting, and the Boston Celtics, back from the 2013 trade, are receiving the benefits in 2022. If Danny Ainge thinks that he can get a king's ransom and 5, 6 future first-round picks for Donovan Mitchell, then he would go out and do it. But that's the only way I think he would. And I think he would demand RJ Barrett in a trade coming from the Knicks going to the Utah Jazz. We know Donovan Mitchell is great, but how much better is he than RJ Barrett? And is that gap wide enough to say you also throw in 4 first-round picks and Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Obi Toppin? I wouldn't do it. But maybe if RJ Barrett wasn't involved and it was just picks and a couple of the young guys, I would. But at the end of the day, if I had to say today, I would not trade for Donovan Mitchell. The backcourt duo of him and Brunson at 6'1" and the lack of defense they had, I'm not sure you could win for a very long time in this league. But I'll ask you this question: should the Knicks just trade for Donovan Mitchell? I want to take the pulse of all Knicks fans. We asked you if RJ Barrett should be in the trade. Now I just want to ask in general, do you want the Spider on the Knicks? Let me know. Type Y for yes, or you can go down and type N for no. Let's remember this, ladies and gentlemen. RJ Barrett is just 22 freaking years old. This kid is not even scratching the surface of the type of player he's going to be in the National Basketball Association. We've seen him do rare things in the NBA space that only greats in the NBA have done. We're going to run through a couple tweets right here that show off some rare heights that RJ Barrett has achieved in his young 3-year NBA career. This is back from April 11th earlier this year from Knicks Muse, a stat site that covers the Knicks. They said NBA players with 3,400 plus points, 1,100 plus rebounds, and 550 plus assists before turning 22 years old: Kevin Garnett, Tracy McGrady, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic, and RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. We've got more. Tommy Beer, he said this back in March. He said most 30-point games by a player age 21 or younger this season, RJ Barrett had 11, LaMelo Ball had 8, Anthony Edwards had 7, Tyler Hero had 4, Tyrese Maxey had 4, Darius Garland and Cole Anthony also had 3. RJ Barrett is one of the most impressive young stars in the NBA. And we saw guys like Darius Garland and other people that already signed that Supermax contract coming out of their rookie year. Could that be coming for RJ Barrett? A lot of league executives don't think he's worth that money. But when you're in this stratosphere of NBA players with 3,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 5,000 assists, and 300 three-pointers made before turning 22, and you join the likes of LeBron James and Luka Doncic, You deserve every single penny the New York Knicks could offer. The Knicks need to go out and start making that relationship known and put on a good note for RJ Barrett, because he's someone that could be wearing the blue and orange for the next 15 years, and I would be a damn happy fan if he was. The last stat tweet we'll show was last night, back in February. RJ Barrett became just the sixth player in NBA history to tally at least 36 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 3-pointers made in a single season before turning 22. The other guys, Doncic, Curry, Booker, Trae Young, and LeBron frickin' James. I want to see the comment section right now flooded with number 9, because it's time for us to embrace RJ Barrett as the face of the Knicks. If you want to trade RJ for Donovan Mitchell, I think you're crazy. I don't think you really have been watching the games and understand what RJ Barrett brought to this franchise and is going to continue to bring for the future. But if you love RJ Barrett and you want him to know that you're a supporter of his going forward and you got his back and you want him to be the face of the franchise, I want you to go down right now and type number 9 as jersey number. I'll be down there and I'll respond to everybody that types number 9, because RJ's my guy and I know he's yours. To end up today's show, I wanted to take a look at the Summer League roster that the Knicks are going to be trotting out in just a couple of days. As their schedule is out, we'll take a look at that, and we'll take a look at the guys who are headlining this roster. The Knicks Summer League roster is headlined by Quentin Grimes, Jericho Sims, and Miles McBride. Other people that are on this roster also include Trevor Keels, the rookie that was selected in the second round by Duke of the NBA draft. There's also a couple more young players. Seeps, you can push that across. That's all good. When you look at this roster in total, MJ Walker, he's a guard, 6'5". Last year played for the Westchester Knicks in the G League. Amir Sims was a center. He played for Clemson in college and was also with Westchester. Deshaun Schwartz, he's a forward out of George Mason. He's a rookie. He's on this roster. Quentin Rose, he's a rookie, but he also played in the G League last year. And probably the most interesting guy outside of the big four we named was Jean Montero, the guard out of the Dominican Republic, who is just 19 years old. Played in the Overtime Elite League last year. I'm ready to see what he does this year. This is the full schedule of the Knicks Summer League. This Friday, coming up on July 8th, they're going to play against the Golden State Warriors, and it's going to be on ESPN too. The best thing about the Summer League is all the games are going to be broadcasted. The Bulls, when they play the Bulls on the 10th, it's on ESPN2. Then the following Monday on July 11th, they play the Portland Trail Blazers. That's on ESPN2. Then Thursday, July 14th, they play against the Orlando Magic. That's on NBA TV. And then they will have one more game that has not been announced on the schedule. That's going to be the playoff game. So once we get a word on that, we'll make sure to keep you up to date. But the guys I'm watching for in the Summer League, and I'm going to be glued to the TV watching, Quentin Grimes, I want to see what he can do his second year in the NBA. Jericho Sims, I want to see what he can do. And if those two guys, as well as Miles McBride, can carry this team going forward in the Summer League and see what they can bring in the 2022 season. And then I want to see what Trevor Keels does as a rookie. I think it's exciting. He has potential. He's a former 5-star recruit, just 19 years old. I'm ready to see what he can bring. He's a bulldog. Kind of reminds me of PJ Tucker and Kyle Lowry if they had a baby. He's got a really cool play type. But I want to hear from you. What player are you most excited to watch in the Summer League? Type QG for Quentin Grimes, JS for Jericho Sims, MM for Miles McBride, or TK for the Rook, Trevor Keels. I want to say thank you to everyone that subscribed, liked, or commented on any video we've done throughout the NBA draft or NBA free agency. This is the 17th video in 14 days, and I want to give you guys some love right now. If you made it this far, till the very end of today's video, I want you to go down and type Real One in the comment section, because a lot of people watch these videos, but not a lot of people make it to the end. And I want to show love to people that do. So comment Real One in the comment section if you're still watching right now, and I'll give you a shout out on the next New York Knicks Now.